It was a cold, unforgiving Memphis night. The streets were quiet, save for the distant hum of cars passing by. A young boy, barely 8 years old, wandered aimlessly. His clothes, tattered and worn, did little to shield him from the biting chill. His stomach growled, but hunger had become a familiar companion. In his small world, survival was the only goal. Michael Oher had no home, no bed to call his own. Nights like these were spent huddled in a corner of a fast food joint or on the hard bleachers of a neighborhood gym, anywhere he could find warmth. The faint sound of laughter from a family across the street filled the air, a cruel reminder of everything he lacked. For Michael, a stable family, warm meals, and a safe place to sleep were luxuries he could only dream of. Born to a mother battling addiction and a father in and out of prison, Michael's early years were a cycle of neglect and instability. By the time he was 7, he'd already lived in more than a dozen foster homes. He rarely stayed in one place long enough to make friends or even feel a sense of belonging. Most nights, he didn't know where his next meal would come from or if he'd have a roof over his head. Yet, even in the darkest moments, there was a flicker of hope, a quiet determination that refused to be extinguished. Michael didn't have much, but he had his resilience, a trait that would later become the cornerstone of his story. Still, as he sat on the cold steps of a shelter that night, clutching an oversized backpack filled with the few belongings he owned, the future seemed unbearably bleak. Little did he know, life had an extraordinary plan for him, a plan that would take him from the streets of Memphis to the grand stage of the NFL. But before any of that could happen, Michael would need to face his greatest battle, believing he was worthy of something more. The journey ahead would be grueling, filled with countless hurdles, heartbreaks, and moments of doubt. Yet through it all, he would prove that even the most broken beginnings can lead to incredible triumphs. As the sun began to rise, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Michael picked himself up. He had no idea where he was headed or what lay ahead, but he knew one thing: he wasn't giving up. That moment, standing on the cusp of an uncertain day, was the first step in a story that would inspire millions. Michael Jerome Williams Jr., known to the world as Michael Oher, entered life with the odds stacked against him. Born on May 28, 1986, in Memphis, Tennessee, he was the 11th of his mother's 12 children. His upbringing was not one of innocence and security, but rather a constant battle for survival in a world that seemed to forget about children like him. Michael's mother, Denise Oher, struggled with addiction. Her dependence on crack cocaine consumed her life, leaving little room for nurturing her children. Meanwhile, his father, Michael Jerome Williams Sr., was frequently in and out of prison. Their absence, both physical and emotional, meant that Michael and his siblings had to fend for themselves. Life in the Oher household was chaotic at best. Denise's addiction dictated the rhythm of their days, often leading to long stretches without food, electricity, or running water. The children were left to scavenge for meals wherever they could, sometimes relying on the kindness of neighbors, other times resorting to sheer desperation. For Michael, these conditions became the norm, shaping his early understanding of life as a constant fight for basic needs. By the age of 7, Michael's life took a sharp turn. Child Protective Services intervened, deeming his home environment unfit for children. Separated from his siblings, Michael was placed into foster care. What followed was a cycle of instability, bouncing from one foster home to another, never staying long enough to form attachments or feel a sense of security. The system was supposed to protect him, but it often felt like another battle he had to endure alone. The few possessions he carried with him, worn clothes and a couple of items he called his own, became his only constants. Each new foster home was a reminder that he was unwanted, a transient figure in other people's lives. For many children, this instability would lead to a loss of hope, but for Michael, it planted the seeds of resilience. Michael's education suffered greatly during these turbulent years. Frequently changing schools meant he fell behind his peers academically. Teachers saw him as another troubled student, a child too far gone to save. Many didn't bother to invest in him, assuming he'd be swallowed by the same system that claimed so many others. By the time he reached 9th grade, Michael had attended 11 different schools. Despite these challenges, there was an undeniable spark in Michael, an inner strength that refused to be extinguished. Though he was quiet and reserved, his presence was imposing. At 6 feet tall by the time he entered high school, he carried himself with a silent intensity that hinted at untapped potential. But potential alone wasn't enough to change the trajectory of his life. He needed someone to believe in him, to see beyond the labels and statistics that defined him. That opportunity came in an unexpected way. While attending Briarcrest Christian School, Michael encountered a new world, one starkly different from the streets of Memphis. The private school environment was a culture shock for a boy who had grown up with so little. Yet it was here that Michael's story began to change. At Briarcrest, Michael struggled academically. Years of inconsistent schooling had left him far behind his peers, and he initially failed to meet the school's academic standards. But what he lacked in knowledge, he made up for in sheer determination. With the help of teachers and tutors who saw his potential, Michael began to make small strides. He wasn't just learning, he was discovering what it meant to have people invest in him, to believe in his capacity for greatness. However, it wasn't academics that first caught people's attention. It was Michael's incredible athleticism. His size and strength, coupled with his quiet determination, made him a natural on the football field. For the first time, he found something that gave him a sense of purpose, a space where he could excel and feel valued. But even as Michael began to find his footing at Briarcrest, his challenges were far from over. He was still navigating life largely on his own, often sleeping on couches or staying with teammates when he had nowhere else to go. It was during this time that fate intervened in the form of Leigh-Ann and Sean Tuohys, a wealthy couple whose children also attended Briarcrest. The Tuohys first noticed Michael walking to school in the cold, wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Moved by his situation, they invited him into their home. What started as a temporary act of kindness soon evolved into something much deeper. The Tuohys didn't just offer Michael shelter, they gave him a family, a support system, and a chance to rewrite his story. Leigh-Ann and Sean became fierce advocates for Michael, ensuring he had the resources and opportunities he needed to thrive. With their guidance, he began to excel both academically and athletically. For the first time, Michael experienced the stability and love of a family, a foundation that would propel him toward the incredible achievements ahead. Every hero's journey has a moment of transformation, a pivotal point where the tide begins to turn. For Michael Oher, that moment came not through a sudden miracle, but through a series of small, life-changing acts of kindness and opportunity. The Tuohys family had opened their home to Michael, but what they truly offered him was far more valuable: belief. Before Leigh-Ann and Sean Tuohys came into Michael's life, he had already endured years of neglect and instability. Trust didn't come easily, and accepting help felt foreign to someone who had grown used to surviving on his own. Yet something about the Tuohys was different. Their kindness was genuine, their commitment unwavering. Leigh-Ann, in particular, took Michael under her wing, refusing to let him slip through the cracks. One of the first things Leigh-Ann did was address Michael's education. Years of inconsistent schooling had left him struggling with basic subjects, and he was significantly behind his peers. Leigh-Ann hired tutors to work with him daily, helping him grasp concepts he had never been given the chance to learn. Slowly but surely, Michael began to catch up. It wasn't just about academics. It was about building his confidence and showing him that he was capable of more than he ever believed. But the classroom wasn't the only place where Michael's life began to change. On the football field, his natural talent was undeniable. His size, strength, and agility made him a force to be reckoned with, but it was his determination that truly set him apart. Under the guidance of coaches who saw his potential, Michael began to transform from a raw talent into a formidable athlete. Still, the transition wasn't without challenges. Michael's reserved nature and lack of experience in structured environments made it difficult for him to fully integrate into the team at first. He wasn't used to people cheering for him, let alone relying on him to perform. But as he grew more comfortable in his role, his confidence blossomed. For the first time, he felt a sense of belonging, not just as an athlete, but as part of a team. Lee Ann and Sean didn't stop at providing academic and athletic support. They took legal steps to become Michael's guardians, cementing their role as his family. This decision wasn't just a formality, it was a declaration that Michael mattered, that he was no longer alone in the world. For a boy who had spent much of his life feeling invisible, the significance of this act was immeasurable. With the Tuohys' support, Michael's football career began to take off. He quickly became a standout player at Briarcrest, drawing attention from college scouts across the country. His combination of size, speed, and determination made him a coveted recruit, and offers began pouring in from top universities. For Michael, this was more than an opportunity to play football. It was a chance to secure a future he never thought possible. Despite the excitement of these opportunities, Michael faced one final hurdle: meeting the academic requirements to play college football. His grades, though improving, still fell short of NCAA standards. Once again, the Tuohys stepped in, rallying behind him to ensure he had every resource he needed to succeed. Tutors worked tirelessly with Michael, and Lee Ann kept a close eye on his progress, refusing to let him give up. In 2004, all the hard work paid off. Michael achieved the grades he needed to qualify for college athletics and accepted a scholarship to the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. It was a milestone moment, one that marked the culmination of years of struggle, determination, and unwavering support from the Tuohy family. As Michael stood on the threshold of this new chapter, he reflected on how far he had come. The streets of Memphis felt like a distant memory, though the scars of those early years remained. But instead of holding him back, they became a source of strength. Michael Oher was no longer the boy who slept on gym floors and ate scraps to survive. He was a young man with a future, ready to take on the challenges that lay ahead. The turning point in Michael's life was not a single moment, but a series of choices, opportunities, and people who refused to give up on him. It was a testament to the power of love, support, and resilience. A reminder that even the most broken beginnings can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Michael Oher's journey to success was far from linear. While earning a scholarship to the University of Mississippi marked a significant turning point, it was only the beginning of his climb. The road ahead was filled with new challenges, setbacks, and moments of self-discovery that would test his resilience in ways he had never imagined. When Michael arrived at Ole Miss, the world of collegiate athletics was a new and intimidating arena. He had proven himself on the high school football field, but college football was a different beast entirely. The competition was fierce, and the expectations were higher than anything he had experienced before. Michael quickly realized that raw talent alone wouldn't be enough to succeed at this level. He needed discipline, focus, and a relentless work ethic. Under the guidance of Coach Ed Orgeron, Michael began to hone his skills as an offensive lineman. Coach Orgeron saw something special in Michael, an athlete with not only immense physical ability but also a heart and drive that couldn't be taught. Practices were grueling and the learning curve was steep, but Michael attacked every challenge with the same determination that had carried him through his turbulent childhood. Off the field, Michael faced equally daunting challenges. Academically, the rigor of college coursework was overwhelming. Years of inconsistent education had left gaps in his knowledge, and he often found himself struggling to keep up. But Michael wasn't alone in this fight. With the continued support of the Tuohy family and dedicated tutors at Ole Miss, he worked tirelessly to stay on track. Slowly but surely, his confidence grew, both in the classroom and on the field. As Michael's skills improved, so did his reputation. By his sophomore year, he had become a key player for the Ole Miss Rebels. His size, strength, and quick reflexes made him a standout offensive tackle, a position that required both brute force and strategic thinking. Game after game, Michael demonstrated his ability to protect his quarterback and dominate opponents, earning the respect of teammates and coaches alike. Yet the pressures of collegiate football weren't confined to the field. Michael's journey attracted media attention, especially as his story of overcoming adversity began to circulate. Reporters and commentators were fascinated by the young man who had risen from homelessness to become one of college football's brightest stars. While this attention brought opportunities, it also brought scrutiny. Michael was thrust into the public eye, a place that felt both unfamiliar and uncomfortable. Through it all, Michael remained focused on his goals. He wasn't just playing for himself. He was playing for every child who had ever felt invisible, for every foster kid who had been told they wouldn't amount to anything. His success was bigger than football. It was a symbol of hope and possibility. By the time Michael reached his senior year, he had solidified his place as one of the top offensive linemen in the nation. His performance on the field earned him numerous accolades, including All-American honors. But the biggest milestone was yet to come: the 2009 NFL Draft. The draft was a culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. Michael sat anxiously with the Tuohys family, waiting for his name to be called. It was a moment that symbolized not just his personal triumph, but the collective effort of everyone who had supported him along the way. When the Baltimore Ravens selected Michael Oher in the first round as the 23rd overall pick, it was a dream realized. Tears filled his eyes as he hugged Leanne and Sean, who had been there every step of the way. For Michael, this wasn't just about making it to the NFL. It was about proving that his story mattered, that he was more than the hardships he had endured. Life in the NFL was a new challenge altogether. As a rookie, Michael faced intense pressure to perform at the highest level. The demands of professional football tested him physically and mentally, but Michael thrived under the guidance of experienced teammates and coaches. He quickly established himself as a dependable and versatile player, capable of excelling in both the left and right tackle positions. Michael's first season with the Ravens was a success, and he played a crucial role in the team's offensive line. But the crowning achievement of his NFL career came in 2013 when the Ravens won Super Bowl XLVII. Standing on the field as confetti rained down, Michael reflected on the journey that had brought him there. From the streets of Memphis to the pinnacle of professional football, it was a moment that encapsulated everything he had fought for. Even as Michael achieved success on the field, he never forgot where he came from. He used his platform to advocate for foster children and raise awareness about the challenges they face. His autobiography, I Beat the Odds, From Homelessness to the Blind Side and Beyond, gave readers an intimate look at his journey and the people who had helped him along the way. Michael's climb to success wasn't just about football. It was about defying the odds, proving that a person's past doesn't have to define their future. His story became a beacon of hope for countless others, a reminder that with hard work, resilience, and the right support, anything is possible. February 3, 2013, marked the crowning moment of Michael Oher's football career. Under the bright lights of the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, the Baltimore Ravens faced off against the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl XLVII. The stakes couldn't have been higher, and for Michael, this wasn't just another game. It was the culmination of years of struggle, determination, and perseverance. As the game unfolded, Michael played a critical role in protecting his quarterback, ensuring the Ravens' offensive line remained impenetrable. Every block, every movement carried the weight of his journey, from the streets of Memphis to this extraordinary stage. When the final whistle blew and the Ravens emerged victorious with a 34-31 win, Michael stood in the midst of the celebration, confetti raining down like a cascade of dreams realized. Winning the Super Bowl was more than a professional achievement. For Michael, it symbolized a victory over the obstacles that had defined his early life. The boy who had once struggled to find a safe place to sleep was now a champion, celebrated by millions. Yet even in that moment of triumph, Michael's humility shone through. He attributed his success not just to his own efforts, but to the people who had believed in him and helped him along the way. While the Super Bowl victory was the pinnacle of Michael's football career, it was far from the end of his story. After achieving one of the highest honors in professional sports, Michael continued to use his platform to inspire and uplift others. He often spoke about the importance of resilience and the power of a support system, sharing his journey to remind people that no matter how dire their circumstances, change was possible. Off the field, Michael's impact extended beyond the game. His autobiography, I Beat the Odds, From Homelessness to the Blind Side and Beyond, became a bestseller, offering readers an unfiltered look at his life. In the book, Michael provided insights into his childhood, his relationship with the Tuohys family, and the realities of navigating life as a foster child. He emphasized that while his story had been popularized through the film The Blind Side, it was the quiet moments of perseverance and the kindness of others that truly defined his journey. Michael also became an advocate for foster children, dedicating time and resources to improve the system that had once failed him. He visited schools, spoke at events, and worked with organizations to ensure that children in similar situations had access to the support and opportunities they needed. His message was clear: no child should feel invisible, and everyone deserves a chance to succeed. Despite the challenges and pressures of life in the NFL, Michael continued to excel as a player. He went on to play for the Tennessee Titans and the Carolina Panthers, consistently demonstrating the discipline and resilience that had defined his career. In 2015, Michael returned to the Super Bowl stage with the Panthers, further cementing his legacy as one of the league's most respected players. Throughout his career, Michael remained grounded, always remembering the people who had helped him along the way. The Tuohys family remained a central part of his life, their bond serving as a testament to the power of love and support. Lee Ann and Sean had not only changed Michael's life, but also proved that one act of kindness could ripple out to inspire countless others. For Michael, success was never just about football. It was about using his platform to create change, to be a voice for the voiceless, and to remind others that their past didn't have to define their future. His journey from homelessness to the NFL wasn't just a personal victory. It was a beacon of hope for anyone who had ever faced insurmountable odds. Even after retiring from professional football, Michael's story continues to inspire. He remains a symbol of resilience and the transformative power of kindness, a living reminder that no matter how difficult the beginning, the ending can still be extraordinary. Michael Oher's story is not just one of personal triumph. It is a tale that transcends football, speaking to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of love and opportunity. While his achievements on the field are remarkable, it is the life he has built off the field that cements his legacy as a symbol of hope and inspiration. For millions who have heard his story, Michael is more than a Super Bowl champion. He is a testament to what is possible when someone refuses to give up. From the streets of Memphis to the NFL, his journey has inspired countless individuals to confront their challenges head-on, to believe in their potential, and to seek help when they need it. His life proves that no situation is too dire, no obstacle too insurmountable for change to occur. Michael's advocacy for foster children has become a cornerstone of his legacy. Drawing from his own experiences, he has dedicated himself to improving the foster care system and ensuring that no child feels as invisible as he once did. His public speeches and partnerships with organizations aim to provide resources, mentorship, and support for at-risk youth, helping them navigate the challenges of foster care and find their own paths to success. In his autobiography, I Beat the Odds, From Homelessness to the Blind Side and Beyond, Michael writes candidly about the reality of his life, a reality far more complex and challenging than what was portrayed in The Blind Side. The book offers valuable lessons for anyone facing adversity: the importance of perseverance, the impact of small acts of kindness, and the necessity of believing in oneself even when the world doesn't. Michael's relationship with the Tuohys family remains a powerful example of how a single act of compassion can change a life. Lee Ann and Sean Tuohys didn't just provide Michael with a home, they gave him a sense of belonging, the confidence to dream bigger, and the support to achieve those dreams. Their bond serves as a reminder of the profound difference that one person or one family can make in someone's life. As Michael reflects on his journey, he often emphasizes that success is not a straight path. It is filled with setbacks, moments of doubt, and challenges that test one's resolve. But it is also a path that rewards persistence, hard work, and the willingness to embrace new opportunities. His story encourages others to look beyond their circumstances, to find the strength within themselves, and to seek out the support they need to thrive. Michael Oher's journey is a powerful reminder that no dream is too big and no challenge too great. His life invites us to reflect on our own struggles and the ways we can overcome them. But his story also challenges us to be like the Tuohys family, to look for opportunities to uplift those around us, to extend kindness and support to those who need it most. If Michael's story has inspired you, let it be a call to action. Whether it's volunteering with foster organizations, mentoring a young person, or simply offering a helping hand, you have the power to make a difference. And if you're someone facing adversity, remember Michael's message: your past does not define your future. With resilience, determination, and the right support, you too can beat the odds.